You've probably seen the term ESG popping up a lot lately, right? It's this idea that's kind of quietly reshaping the entire financial world. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down what it actually is, why it's suddenly everywhere, and, what it might mean for the way you think about your money.
Look, we all want our money to grow. That's a given. But what if it could do more? What if your investments could actually help build a more sustainable, a more ethical world? That right there, that's the powerful idea at the very heart of ESG.
All right, so to really get what all the buzz is about, let's start with the basics. What exactly is ESG investing? Think of it this way. ESG just adds 3 extra layers of analysis to the way people have always invested. E stands for environmental, a company's carbon footprint, how it manages waste, that kind of thing. S is for social. How does it treat its people, its suppliers, the community around it? And G is for governance. Basically, how is the company run? Is the leadership transparent? Are its books clean? It's all about getting the whole picture, not just the numbers on a spreadsheet. And let's be super clear about a common misconception here. This isn't charity. The goal is absolutely still to make money, to get those financial returns. The whole idea is to do it by investing in companies that are built for the long haul, the ones that are actually aligned with sustainable development. So what's the big deal? Why has this idea totally captured the attention of so many investors? Let's dig into the promise of ESG. The appeal really boils down to 3 main things. First, there's this idea that sustainable companies are just better run businesses. They might face fewer risks down the line and attract better talent, which could lead to stronger returns over time. Second, it's a way for you to put your money where your values are. And third, it can actually help manage risk by adding a totally different lens for diversifying your portfolio. Looking at stuff traditional analysis might just completely miss. And this quote, this really gets to the emotional core of it all. It's not just about watching numbers on a screen go up or down. It's that feeling that your money is actually part of something positive. And, that's a really powerful motivator.
But of course, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like any investment strategy, ESG comes with its own unique set of challenges and risks. So to get the full picture, we've got to look at the other side of the coin. So yeah, what's the catch? With any promising investment idea, you always have to ask, where are the potential pitfalls? So while those benefits are really appealing, the risks are just as real. Probably the biggest one is something called greenwashing. That's when a company talks a big game about being sustainable, but doesn't actually follow through. Then you have higher costs, because this kind of deep research, it takes real expertise. And finally, it can just be really hard to measure this stuff. There isn't one single universal scorecard for how a company is doing on these things. And here's the fundamental reality check. No matter how great a company's mission sounds, an ESG investment is still an investment. It's not immune to the market, and there is always the potential for loss. Okay, so even with those risks, the amount of money flowing into ESG is, well, it's staggering. Let's follow the money to really understand the scale of this whole movement and where it might be going. Just take a look at that number, $41.1 trillion. That is the amount of global assets right now being managed with an ESG strategy. It's a number so big it's hard to even wrap your head around, and it tells you this is not some niche little corner of the market anymore, not at all. And to put that number in perspective, the market has grown by over 34% since just 2018. It jumped from about 30 trillion to over 41 trillion today. That's an absolutely explosive rate of growth. It signals a massive shift in how money's being put to work all over the world. So where is this all headed? While all the momentum suggests, we're going to see continued growth. You should probably expect more and more companies to treat sustainability as a core part of their business, not just some PR stunt. And as that happens, look for more pressure. Pressure for transparency and better standards to fight that greenwashing problem. And of course, the financial industry is going to keep pumping out new ESG funds and products to meet all that demand. This is all really fascinating, but what does it actually mean for you as an individual? Let's boil all this down into a few key takeaways. If you're thinking about this for your own portfolio, it really comes down to 3 things. Number 1, be aware of the risks, especially that temptation for companies to make empty promises. Number 2, be prepared for possibly higher fees, since good analysis isn't cheap. And number 3, and this is the most important, be informed. Do your own homework beyond the slick marketing to make sure an investment really truly lines up with your financial goals and your values. Ultimately, this is the balancing act.
It's what every single potential ESG investor has to do. It's all about weighing that promise of long-term sustainable returns against the very real risks and costs that come with the specific style of investing.
So this all brings us to one final huge question. With trillions of dollars flying around and a growing demand for companies to be more responsible, is ESG investing becoming the new normal, the new standard, or is it just a passing trend? The data sure suggests a fundamental shift is happening, but, well, only time will tell for sure. Thanks for joining this explainer.